ISIL kills up to 60 people in a suicide car bombing in the Yemeni city of Aden.
Arwa was in front of me, but I didn't think she was injured. Then she began to cry. I thought she was crying for her brother. I took her brother to my chest. He was dead.
The brutal reality of war. In West Aleppo in Syria, children can be found in the city's hospitals or graveyards. We speak to a family that has a child in both.
The United States wants to write the rules, but we should not submit to their proposals. We Europeans have our own way of living.
Germany's economics minister says talks between the U.S. and the EU on a proposed transatlantic trade deal have failed because of Washington's relentless arm twisting. This is RT International live from Moscow. I'm Marina Joshi. Welcome to the program. Now, up to 60 people have been killed and dozens more injured in a suicide car bombing in the Yemeni city of Aden. ISIL has claimed responsibility for the attack. The bombing targeted a military training camp. The facility is used by militia loyal to the country's ousted president. The attack comes amid fresh efforts to end the 17-month conflict, which has already killed thousands and displaced millions more. Political commentator Marwa Osman blames Saudi meddling in the country for the rise of ISIL there.
Until now, from March 25, 2015, when the U.S. coalition, led by the Saudis, ran its rant all over Yemen, they have never, not even once, targeted all of the Yemeni, all of the Al-Qaeda, ISIS wilayat. They have 8 wilayat inside of Yemen. Not once have they targeted them. Why? Because they are actually there to run the on-ground incursion for the Saudis, and up until now, they have not been able to do so. They have not been able to go to Sada or to Sana'a for that matter. They only have been targeting Mukalla and Aden, as we just saw today. It's obviously very devastating, 60 plus casualties. People dead because of an explosion, but these two are proxy warriors for the war of Al-Saud, both the rebels who supposedly represent Abdullah Mansur Hadi, the ex-president, the former president, and also Al-Qaeda. Now, when you say it's possible, no, it's not only possible, it is the way it's going on in Syria, Iraq, Yemen, and also inside of Syria and Libya. So when you talk about Saudi Arabia funding ISIS, it is possible. It is the only way that it's going to gain any ground incursions on the Yemeni field. And yet, this is not happening.
Another war-torn country in the Middle East where a foreign intervention led to the rise of ISIL is Libya. Reports are coming in of fighting between the UN-backed government forces and the terrorists in Sirte, the de facto ISIL capital in the country. And these are the latest pictures. To Syria now, where heavy fighting in the Syrian city of Aleppo has forced many vital medical facilities to close, despite the ever-growing need for them. Well, let's show you footage from the government-run Al-Razi hospital in the city. And every day, its medical staff treat hundreds of people, including children, who arrive there with mortar and sniper wounds. Our correspondent Lisa Phelan previously reported on how the constantly shifting front lines of Aleppo have forced its residents to flee. And here's a quick recap.
There's no safe place left in Aleppo. Many of the civilians who remain have moved from home to home, trying to stay as far away from the city's constantly shifting front lines as possible. Right now we're standing in the home of a family that's still living here. There's bits of shrapnel scattered across their terrace. Here you can see a bullet hole in their shutters. This really is a deadly place to call home. Below, we met kids walking through the streets of their neighborhood just meters away from the battle.
My name is Safe. I'm 5 years old.
Is this your new house here?
Hi. It's my grandfather's house. I just tidy the house, then I play with my friends. I don't go out, I just stay at home.
These children have lived through more than most could imagine in their worst nightmares.
In Liz's latest report, she meets some of those who weren't lucky enough to flee from the rocket fire of the rebels.
Aside from those who fled, those who can't be found at home can either be found in the city's hospitals or graveyards. This family has a child in both.
We were in Minyan. Rockets began raining down on our home. First, we moved to our neighbour's home. Then there was quiet, so my family got in the car to leave. A rocket was fired. The shrapnel hit, injured my girl, and hit our son in the head, killing him.
My daughter was sitting in front of me, and her sister was next to me. Her brother was beside me, too. We heard a sound, and we thought it was in the street, so I was looking at people's reactions in the street. Arwa was in front of me, but I didn't think she was injured. Then she began to cry. I thought she was crying for her brother. I took her brother to my chest. He was dead. When we arrived to the hospital and they took him and said he was dead, they told me the girl is injured and will need an operation.
Arwa is just 4 years old. Her brother Abdusalam was 6. This smile of bravery she wears masks her fear that if she shows the pain, someone will try to treat her horrific injuries. She can't sit and only stands with the aid of her parents.
She lost a part of her upper leg, so she can't use nappies and is forced to use a colostomy bag, which needs to be changed daily. But there's a shortage of them, and they're expensive. I also need bandages and medication. The bandages have to be changed daily so they don't get soiled.
Yes, she's afraid. Whenever she hears an aircraft or rocket or any loud sounds, she searches for a secluded place to hide where she can't hear the sounds.
Arwa's biggest struggle, according to her parents, is simply coming to terms with the loss of her sibling.
She misses her brother so much. She cries over any small thing and says she just wants to go to her brother's grave so she can put her hand on it.
Living through their own trauma from the attack, Arwa's parents have resolved to keep going, to soothe her and do everything they can with what little they have.
It's very painful. My boy has been killed, and my girl's situation is terrible. This is how it is now.
Lizzie Phelan in Aleppo for RT.
But despite all the suffering youngsters in Syria have been through, many not only still have hope, but they also inspired in others. For the first time, young Syrian sportsmen have represented their country at a Football for Friendship tournament in Milan. And our Arabic team followed their journey from the very beginning.
مشان نشارك ببطولة اسمها كرة القدم من أجل الصداقة، مشان أرجي العالم إنه نحن
إن شاء الله بنحقق ونفرح 23 مليون سوري ناطرين فرحة صغيرة اللي صار لهم 5
شعب حي ما بيموت، وكمان كل قذيفة عم تنزل على ملعب أخضر أو شيء أخضر رح يرجع العشب ينمو من أول وجديد، ونحن كمان عنا رياضة وعنا حياة وعنا محبة.